Hey students, this video is going to be how we complete the graphing exponential and log functions assignment on DeltaMath. So the first function that we have is f of x equals 5 to the x plus 3. And it says that we have to plot the asymptote and any 2 points with whole number coordinates. So let's come up with 2 points first. Actually, we should be able to let's just jump over to the notes. So where's my notes at? So that function was f of x equals 5 to the x plus 3. So we know for an exponential function, we have a horizontal asymptote, and that is y equals 3. So that's taken care of. And so now we just need 2 points. And to fit them on the graph, you should choose the powers of 5 that actually allow you to stay on that graph. So we can always choose whatever's going to give you 1 first. So we're going to have f of 0. That's going to be 5 to the 0 plus 3. Remember, anything to the 0 power is 1. So 1 plus 3 is 4. So 0, 4 is a point. And then I would just choose the next power of 5. So 5 to the first. So we're going to have f of 1 is equal to 5 to the first plus 3. That's 5 plus 3, which is going to be 8. So the other point is 1, 8. Now, if you try to do like f of 2, that's going to give you 5 squared plus 3, which is 25, plus 3, which is 28, which is a valid point. You just can't graph it. So try to stay on the graph. So anyway, we have a horizontal asymptote of 3, 0, 4, and 1, 8. So let's jump back over here. So we have a, why is it not letting me choose? I didn't have this problem earlier. So we have, why are you like this? So we have a horizontal asymptote. There, it finally worked. So we have a horizontal asymptote of 3. And then one of the points was 0, 4. So we're going to put that point there. And the other point was 1, 8. So when x is 1, y was 8. And so that's all the information we need to graph that. And so we're going to submit that. And so you see we get that correct. So another problem is we have the logarithm. So -2 log base 2 negative x minus 6 minus 5. So let's see if I can remember all of that. So we have f of x is -2 log base 2 negative x minus 6 minus 5. Did I get it all right? -2 log base 2 negative x minus 6 minus 5. All right, so for a logarithm, we know that we have a vertical asymptote where this thing equals 0. So negative x minus 6 equals 0 is going to mean that negative 6 equals x. So this is our vertical asymptote. All right. And so now we need 2 other points that are on that graph. So remember, you should choose negative x minus 6 needs to equal powers of 2. So that's going to be like let's see. So let's see, negative x minus 6. The first power of 2 is going to be 1. So negative x minus 6 equals 1 is going to mean negative x equals 7, which means x equals -7. So your first input value should be -7. And so remember, what's going to give you an exponent of 1 is what's going to give you a power of 1 is going to be 0. But we can check this. F of -7 is -2 log 2 of -7 is going to be 7 minus 6 minus 5. And so this is 7 minus 6 is 1. So log base 2 of 1 is 0. So -2 times 0 minus 5 is -5. So -7, -5 is on that graph. Cool. So we have a vertical asymptote of -6. One point is -7, -5. The other point that we can use on this graph is the next power of 2, which is 2. So we're going to have -x minus 6 also equals 2. So in this case, we're going to have -x equals 8. And so x equals -8. And then f of -8 is going to equal -2 log base 2 of -x minus 6, which is going to be -8 minus 6 minus 5. That's going to be -2 log base 2 of 2 minus 5. Log base 2 is 1. Log 2 is 1. So we get -2 times 1 minus 5, which is -7. Why did I write a 2? It's -7. So -2 minus 5 is -7. So we have -7, -5, and -8, -7, and x equals -6. So we have it's going to do this thing again. A vertical asymptote of, it was x equals -6. And then the 2 points were -7, -5, -7, -5, and the other point was -8. What was it? -7, -8, -7. So we get a graph that looks something like that. So we would just submit this, and we get it right. So then next is, let's see, can we get a new problem? Not that one. Can we get another problem? Still a log. That's an easier one. All right, so this one. So now we have a -2 times 1/3 to the x plus 1. So let's draw that one in. -2 times 1/3 to the x plus 1. Make sure I got that. Yep. So f of x equals -2 times 1/3 to the x plus 1. So the horizontal asymptote, because we don't have anything added to the exponential function, is going to be, so horizontal asymptote is y equals 0. And now we just need two other points that have whole number coordinates. So that's going to be slightly, it's not going to be tricky. So let's see. The first one's always going to be whatever gives you an exponent of 0. So in that case, that's going to be -1. So f of -1 is going to be -2 times 1/3 times -1 plus to the -1 plus 1 power. So that this exponent is going to turn out to be 0. So anything to the 0 is 1. So 1 times -2 is -2. So one of our points is -1, -2. So now the next thing is, if we take positive powers of 1/3, we're going to get fractions. So to get the 1/3, we need the 1/3 to have a negative exponent so that we are actually working with powers of 3. So the first one that can give us that is if we choose -2. So f of -2 is going to be -2 times 1/3 to the -2 plus 1, which is going to be -2 times 1/3 to the -1 power. So remember we said with negative exponents, they move to the denominator of a fraction. So that's going to be -2 divided by 1/3. And remember, that's the same as multiplying by 3. And so we get -6. So our other point is -2, -6. So we get -1, -2, -2, -6. So we have -1, -2, -2, -6, I believe. Did I already forget? -2, -6. All right. Nope, wrong thing. And we had a, why is the thing like this? I would probably recommend doing this on a computer so you don't have these issues. I don't know why it keeps going away. It's like it's registering 2 touches. So, okay, I'll get it this time. No. Horizontal asymptote of, what was it, 0? So we're going to put 0. And again, because it's negative, we should expect it to flip over the x-axis. And again, all we have to do is submit this, and we'll see what we get. So we get that correct. So that's generally how you answer this. Is exactly what we did in the video, except we need fewer points. So hopefully this is helpful.